It's exciting times for us. These sorts of patient groups are becoming respected and people are listening to their opinions. And we've got lots of things going on. In a few weeks' time, a great friend of ours, Ken Pullum's organising a 3-day symposium dealing with scleral lenses. And we're paying for 2 delegates, 2 optoms to go there. And a few of us are going to go along to act as guinea pigs. But we're getting involved in more and more things. Anne's being consulted on an increasing number of times. We're supplying people for committees. Anne and Mike, the previous chairman, he's on a committee for the Carolink trial. And Anne is dealing with cross-linking for young children. So it's very exciting. We've even got an Australian viola player coming over, and she's performing in London in a little cafe, art gallery, and she's donating all her proceeds to our charity, which is really good. I have to mention our fundraiser, Amy Mustoe, with an employer, Barbican Insurance. She's raised a tremendous amount of money that's enabled us to start funding research ourselves, and we've entered a partnership with Fight for Sight, and they're going to speak later on, so I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say. I'm not going to say much more. Our theme today is a better patient experience. It made me think back to in the 70s when I was diagnosed, and it was very difficult to get across exactly what the symptoms were. I never really felt that people understood what I was trying to say to them. So I think this idea of the patient contact is very important. And I think that's it. That's all I was going to say. As my wife, she's a nurse, and she said whenever she attended consultations with doctors and patients, as soon as the doctor left the room, the patient would turn around and say, "What did he say?" And I think that illustrates the difficulty in communicating. The patient's concentrating, trying to describe their symptoms, and the doctor's concentrating, and you don't really listen to each other. And then the consultation's over, and then you don't know where you are. So that's why these groups, this opportunity to discuss is really important. Before we start, I think John Thatcher wants to have a word. So do you want to come up, John?
I'm assuming this microphone is on. Am I loud enough for everybody? Okay, this is very brief. 2 things. First of all, as the organiser of the West Midlands group, I'd like to welcome everybody to the West Midlands who's come from outside. But also, I just want to say something very personal. Most of you from the West Midlands group will know that, in fact, the day after the meeting we had in May, my wife was killed in a head-on road crash by somebody overtaking on a blind bend. And although that's pretty desperate, I have recently heard, though, and bearing in mind that I've got a corneal graft that's nearly 40 years old, my wife's eyes were taken for donation, and NHS Blood and Transplant have let me know very recently that both her corneas have been successfully transplanted, one into each of 2 other ladies who've got amazingly recovered eyesight. And I thought you'd like to hear that as a little bit of good news. Thank you.